Alright, hello everybody, Silver here. We are back. We have a menu. We loaded into the menu today before we started. We're menu starting. That means Silver has something he wants to talk about. So, I know this topic lately. Well, not even lately. For a good bit now, this topic is quite contentious. Oh, excuse me. A lot of people have very strong feelings one way or the other about this. Uh, we're talking about AI, right? And I know what people are gonna say. You know, it's like you're against it or you're just like an AI chud bro. However, there are genuine use cases where AI can be useful, right? We can all agree. There are genuine cases. Uh, like, you know, especially for something that's like not even necessarily concept, but like a placeholder sprite for something where it's going to get changed eventually. Let's say a game. You have like a placeholder sprite that's just AI generated for like a 2D game. You're like, okay, we'll put this here just so it's here so we can code around it while artists do their work. I've done that before. I have made games, to be fair. Never released any of the games I've made, but I have made games with teams. And that's what we did. We would just have either a stock image or something that we generated with AI to be kind of closer so we could get the vibe of how it felt while the artist worked, right? All of the writing was done by me, not AI. All of the art was being worked on by an actual artist. It wasn't, all of the music was also being worked on by that same artist. Uh, none of it was like uh, a set thing with the AI. However, there's been a big thing lately where a lot of people are upset that AI data centers are being promoted and people trying to build them in like in areas where people don't want them. And that's completely valid, actually. I also don't like that they're continuing to build AI data centers, to be fair, because we shouldn't make it an actual industry like that. Because there's going to be a market for genuine art and shit. You don't need a chatbot to try to tell you shit. Hire an actual person. You know? The only times, like, AI could be a tool, let's say, is for, maybe an artist is having, like, art block or something, and they're just like, let me just generate some random shit, see if something, like, catches my eye so I can, make something. Just gives you inspiration type of thing. I could see that. I could see, you know, AI generated images being used as placeholders stuff or, stuff like that where any of the AI stuff isn't a final product, right? That's fine. I feel that's fine, personally. Uh, but with all of these AI data centers, there's, at least recently, I've noticed some changes. Because I follow the AI space because I do want it to improve in a different way than it's going. Genuinely. I don't want it to get worse, which it is actively getting worse, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. But I follow it pretty regularly. And honestly, because you can't really be informed on something if you're not, actually following it, to be fair. It's hard to talk in an informed manner about something if you don't understand it. Uh, but me, I've noticed recently, there's a lot of bullshit happening. Right? There's a lot of bullshit happening with AI. The AI data centers, all of that shit, you know. And what's worse is while the people who are heavily for AI are saying, oh, it's just getting better, it's cheap labor, that kind of stuff. Well, they can't keep claiming that. Because even as people are making more data centers that nobody wants, they're making more of this, they're making a bigger stink over, oh, hey, we can use it as a tool type of thing. Which I can agree, it should be used as a tool, but they're not using it as a tool, they're using it as a replacement for real people. A lot of times. And real actual work. They're using it to cheapen work. But that's not going to keep working. It's not going to get cheaper. Because it genuinely hasn't gotten any cheaper. And in fact, people who are in the AI space, they might be fine with this. People who actually use and pay for AI bullshit, they might be okay with it. But if they're gonna continue to try to build these data centers to make AI more important and more of a thing, it's just getting more expensive. Like, actually, you're seeing a lot of stuff where the prices for, like, the membership bullshit that they pay for in order to do, like, AI chatbots, AI, all of that, any of that kind of bullshit, AI chatbots, AI, what do they call them? Fucking AI assistants. There we go. All of that's getting more expensive. Which is the exact opposite of what they want you to think is happening. The fact that it's getting more expensive means it's genuinely something where they're like, oh, hey, we can make more money off of this. Let's do it. It's so cheap, people won't think about it. But then, of course, people like the Hoyo team spend, what, $300,000 or some shit? Somewhere around that metric. On a pool of AI, like, assistants that just talked with each other and were constantly generating token after tokens just to have conversations to each other, which costed money, which led to nothing. In the end, they didn't even get anything out of it. Like, at the very end of the conversation of these AI bots that they had talking to each other in a fucking circle, they never got to an actual idea or anything. They never came to a consensus. Because that's not what AI does. You see too much. You see too often. Because AI chatbots AI assistants, you know, AI companions, all of that is utter bullshit because you can get it to say whatever you want. Genuinely. You can sit there and run circles with it until it agrees with you. If you're so like set in stone on an idea, it will affirm your idea. No matter what, it will eventually affirm your idea. You'll just have to go in circles until it does. So, it's just like genuinely fucking useless. And the real problem is that, again, that it's getting more expensive instead of getting any cheaper. Which is the whole point of, like, oh, hey, let's build more of these things that are polluting the water supplies of the communities we're putting them in. Uh, you know, it's just actually fucking stupid. They're genuinely getting worse, getting more expensive. Which, that's not what they want you to think is happening. And the fact that it is, the fact that they're steadily raising the prices of shit like, oh, hey, let's generate, you could generate this many tokens with this amount of money for this bot, this model of AI. Like, it's actually fucking gross. It's disgusting. Because there's one thing if it's actually getting cheaper. It's another when you're thinking, or when you're trying to say, hey, let's make more AI data centers that are going to ruin the lives of the people that are around them. Let's make more of those. And then increase the prices so we can make some more money. That in and of itself is just, like, disgusting. It actually is. Because if you're gonna do that kind of shit, if you're going to push this agenda, why are you making it more expensive? It should be getting cheaper if you're going to be expanding it so fucking fast. If you're trying to expand it so greatly that you need that many new data centers, why is it getting more expensive? Just why? It genuinely makes no sense, and it makes it literally just even more abysmal. Because again, I feel like there's two different arguments that you can do for it, and a lot of the arguments are genuinely in bad faith on either side. Some people are just like, oh, it's the future, you have to accept it, which is in and of itself kind of like a bad faith argument, really. Because you'd have to understand most people's view on it and how it might affect somebody's work, somebody's life. Somebody might have worked their entire lives becoming an artist to have their work stolen by an AI bot that is now generating images in the same style that you coined or that you have, which is insulting. It's insulting to artists, right? Trying to AI generate books and shit is insulting to to writers like myself. Like having an AI write something for you rather than it being something where it's like, oh hey, you know, we're here's this. Yeah, yeah it's actually an insult, basically. It really is an insult to do that kind of thing. Uh, to not hire writers because you prefer AI because it's cheaper. Not hire artists because you prefer AI because it's cheaper. Uh, you know, any of it. Like having an AI fix a video instead of having an editor if you're like a big channel is a big deal because plenty of money to be able to hire an editor. You're just pawning it off to be able to save money. Again, it's really something that's just like it's one of those things where they really should like not be so worried about AI and expanding its architecture right now and focusing on, you know, supporting actual human beings who influence the economy. Because when you start taking work away from human beings, the economy is impacted by it, by the way. The entire economy, not just the economy of, like, let's say, America or anything like that. It impacts the economy everywhere. Because a company is going to think, oh, hey, this is a cheaper alternative to real work. So let's do that instead. Do you know what I mean? That's a genuine thing that they are going to decide. Because it is just cheaper for them. Because they don't care about the human element of it. Companies don't. And in order to combat that, you don't buy shit that uses that kind of thing. Now, again, there is a big difference in, let's say, you know, a... Oh, fuck. Sorry. There's a very big difference in somebody doing like, oh, hey, I need to, like, I need something to use as, like, a concept art or just a placeholder. There are concept artists. But let's say this is a small indie game dev group, alright? A very small indie game dev group. They're not working for money. They aren't getting paid while working. They are either subsisting off of donations, or they're doing it for the love of the game to make a demo so they can try to get donations, right? That small indie group might take, you know, they might use AI for either concepts or stuff because they don't necessarily have the money to pay for like a concept artist, right? Which I feel is fine. Because maybe they have an actual artist still that is seeing that they're not necessarily like a concept artist. They see that and they're like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can make something similar to this. Similar to what we want, using this as like a guideline type of thing. Which again, I feel is fun. That's not like a bad use of AI. That's using using it as it should be, as a tool. You know? And some people might say, oh, but it's using, you know, an artist's art to, you know, make it just an amalgamation of like works and features that might be exclusive to a character. There's no features exclusive to a character. If somebody has like look at Hoyo games, for example. There are so many characters through the Hoyo series that really are just a replica of characters from their other games, right? Like, Lucia is just the Coco Goat from fucking Genshin Impact. Yishuan is literally a fucking almost a carbon copy of one of the characters from Genshin Impact. Like, actually. You couldn't say she isn't, because she kind of is, even color scheme wise. Color scheme, hair, they're the exact fucking same. You know? There might be some general elements that are slightly different, but she has the same aesthetic. This same kind of like Eastern aesthetic. At least Eastern compared to America. I say Eastern in reference to that area because it is Eastern to me. Like, anything American would be Western. It's got this Eastern aesthetic to it, right? It's just genuinely, like, there's no... I wouldn't say there's no originality, but the fact of the matter is, if something looks similar, it doesn't mean it's just straight up stolen, you know? There are actual people who will just steal art, which is different. It's different than having a similar idea and concept. It's like a lot of people with like Power World. Like a lot of Pokemon fans are upset with Power World's similarity to Pokemon, right? Because there's so many people who say, oh, there's like several pals in Power World who look like Eevee and are just Eevee. Eevee is a fox. And not like a... Like, if you look at Eevee, there's a lot of foxes in media, especially anime, that have had that design. That same exact fucking design. That you can't say Pokemon came up with it. It's just a fucking fox. Like your base standard idea of a little fox creature, right? It's like Ninetales, right? Ninetales isn't unique at all. It's based on a fucking yokai. It's based on a QB. It's not unique. It's just not. Nobody could say it is. Because they took a concept and made it their own. This has gotten way off of the AI debate. But I won't... My thing is, I hate AI, I guess, for a different reason than other people do. Because most people hate AI for the love of the game. Like, genuinely. That's why they hate AI. They hear that, oh, AI is bad. And they're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna assume that it's bad. Because I hear all of these people saying bad things about it. It's gotta be bad. The common consensus has to be right. When the concept behind AI isn't actually bad. It genuinely could be a good thing. But there's so many companies, corporations, people who are going to abuse a tool uh, for their own gain, right? They're gonna see it as a tool that they could use to earn more money or save themselves more money, and use it as that and develop it that way, rather than have it be developed in a good way to be used as a tool for general use for actual people who might be able to actually use it. You know, artists, fucking, let's say something like maybe even a teaching aid, I would say. You know? Not something that is designed to be straight up, hey, here's a more, I guess it would be more, less of an AI, more of a teaching program, really, which we already have. But you get my meaning. There's some use cases where it could be actually decent image generation, so long as it's, you know, the people consent, the people who have their art in it consent to having their art in it. That's completely fine. It's completely fine, and honestly, those people should be paid for having their art being fed into these image generation bots, these image generation models, let's say. Those people who are having their, you know, like thousands of images being fed into a bot to train it how to make images, all of those people whose images were used should be paid for it. It's just like, apparently, I mean, Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, or most on the internet know him as Charlie, did a video recently as well about AI, where apparently, like, hundreds of thousands, even maybe even millions, I believe, of videos were used to train AI, right? And these were all YouTube videos. And some of his YouTube videos were used in the AI as well, is how he knew about it. He was talking about a service that let you look up, like, oh, let's see if Disney's, like, YouTube videos are being used to train AI chatbot or AI bots, right? And he was talking about this service that let you look this up. And genuinely, like, that's a good idea. Because I'm sure it also uses some form of AI to be able to find that information. It's using some form of programming necessarily that's... Because that's all an AI is, really. It's programming that you're teaching by... you set up the programming and then you teach it to learn something through providing it information. Which is normal. That's kind of like how these search algorithms on Google formed. Like, genuinely. That's how, like, your YouTube algorithm forms. It's kind of in AI in and of itself. Which is, again, not a bad case of AI, genuinely, that you can, you know, teach it to give, you know, let's say somebody who uses, like, YouTube, to recommend videos that you might like. I feel like that's a fine use case for AI. Because I've found a lot of channels that I enjoy through the search algorithm. Because, again, that's all AI is. It's an algorithm, essentially. It's provided information. It takes that info in. It takes it in, processes it, and then spits out a result. That's all AI is doing. And depending on what you put into it, is how that result ends, what kind of result you get. But either way, I'm not here to like convince people that AI is good, honestly, because I hate the way AI is. The way AI is right now. It is absolutely fucking abysmal how AI functions currently and what people are using AI for. I hate it, but I did want to talk about how stupid it is that they're increasing prices for these models and shit, while also there's this huge push, at least in America and stuff, to build more AI data centers. Because you'd think if they're pushing to build more, they're not raising the prices of these AI, they would be lowering them. So it's more accessible. Better quality, like, models and stuff for less money. But it only gets more expensive. Which is very funny. That's very funny. Eventually, they're not going to be saving any money. And then nobody's going to be really wanting to work because they haven't had to work because people are focusing on AI too much, right? Either way, it's stupid. Genuinely. I hate that I'm seeing the prices for this shit go up while there's this huge push to have more data centers built that nobody fucking wants. Because it's literally these corporations, these companies, they want them up because it saves them a bit of money, because then they can start making money because they invested in these fucking data centers. They are investing in them. They have a stake in it. So you have to know that any prices, like anything that comes out of it, any money that comes out of that fucking data center that they make, is getting shared with anybody who invested. Especially more with the people who invest more, which is the big companies. But no, it's actually stupid. It genuinely is. Nobody wants more data centers, so they should fucking stop. Genuinely. The data center bullshit is actual ass. And I'm not going to fight anybody on that point because I wholly agree. Because me, myself, I used to just mess around with AI image generation. And this was back when you could make, like, you could have an onboard image generation model. And it just work. On my shitty laptop. This same laptop, by the way, that I'm using for Zenless Zone Zero and making my videos. This same laptop also used to have an onboard image generation tool in AI. And it would only use my graphics card. That's how, like, heavy these used to be, which is extremely light compared to what they are fucking now. We can have just those weak ones that don't need a whole ass data center. You don't need that. Nobody needs those. Because you know what those are actually being used for? Like, genuinely? It's either corporations who have AI consultants that they speak to about their corporate matters, or it's really lonely people on the internet who get horny while talking to a chatbot. That's what the data centers are. That's what they're for. They're not for anybody else. Like, genuinely. Those data centers are only for that, for those purposes. They're not being, like, that's what AI should be, is it should be it shouldn't be big enough that a standard graphics card can't run it by itself. You know? Models should be no bigger than that. They shouldn't be any more than that. Because then, you're not wasting away the fucking planet. You're not tainting water supplies of smaller communities, or even bigger communities. You're not taking hundreds of jobs from people, you know, by building this data center saying, oh, it'll have plenty of jobs. You know, buying out land that might be owned by somebody or smaller companies, buying those out, getting rid of tons of jobs, building a data center in its place, and then only hiring, like, a couple people when you just, like, took away the jobs of so many fucking more. So many multiple times more people than you're giving jobs to. There's no reason. There's no reason to have data centers. Just actually. Fuck AI. Sorry. I had to rant. It actually pissed me off because I found out about it today. I'm subscribed to a newsletter. A couple newsletters for, like, AI stuff. And I'm steadily seeing the prices of this shit go up. Because these are ones that are, like, pro AI. By the way, this is what the pro AI side is saying. Genuinely. Is that prices are going up. But, hey, we're having better models, so it's fine. It's only a couple cents increase. You know? But even then, it doesn't make sense with what they're trying to do. It's literally just, hey, let's make more money. It's not because it's costing more. It's not costing anybody anything more. In fact, it's costing nobody shit, really. Except for the people who are being affected by being close to data centers. Those are who are affected. And that should be the people who... Those people that live in the communities around these should be getting 100% of any proceeds of a data center near it. Like, actually. Because it's fucking up their lives to have it near them. But these companies, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't offer settlements like that. They just want you to fucking grin and bear it. When we shouldn't. I'm not promoting any kind of violence, but, like, I myself, if I had the right mind, genuinely, if a data center was built in my area, I would go vandalizing it. That's me. I would vandalize the property. Because I don't want it in my fucking community. I don't want it around me. There's no reason for it. But I'm not going to tell anybody to do that because, again, that's genuinely a crime. It is a crime to do that kind of thing. I don't want anybody to think it would be okay to do that as well. It's genuinely not okay to do that kind of thing. Somebody does have to clean it. It does make somebody's day worse. But you would not see me upset if somebody had tagged the outside of the fucking building. Or, you know, just fucked with them in, like, It's still malicious, but it's not as hurtful as like, oh hey, let's set fire to this building. Because they're just gonna build another one. You know they're going to. If you make their life hell by doing small malicious things like tagging the outside of the building, putting up signs, that kind of stuff. Because signs, I think, are a lot more legal. Yeah, so long as you do like, oh hey, I'm gonna put this sign. I'm gonna ask a nearby place if they're fine with me putting up this sign, talking about this building not far from theirs. You know, uh, so long as it's like okayed with the actual owners of the property that you're gonna put the sign on, that's fine. Like that's actually legal. It's like genuine. And it would be a form of saying, hey, we don't want you here, type of thing. We do not want a data center. Going about the legal way is always better. But I'm not going to get upset if somebody's tagging a building. Genuinely. Again, somebody is going to have to clean it. And typically it's their job to clean it, by the way. But there are some cool, like, street art that is made that way, but either way, tagging a building like that, not a problem. It's a crime, yes, but I wouldn't like get on somebody's case about it. If somebody were to actually like set fire to like a data center, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's a serious like fucking. I'm pretty sure that's like a federal crime. Arson? Pretty sure arson is a federal crime. Whereas I think like tagging a building is like a misdemeanor. Like vandalism of property. But either way. I've yapped enough about AI today. I did want to talk about the whole bullshit that's going on genuinely recently with so many places that are like having this issue where politicians and shit like that are really wanting to build data centers in communities that nobody from the community actually wants, but their voices aren't being heard. And then the price hikes of AI is also going up. While that's going on, it's a genuine thing that's like it shouldn't be happening if they're actually wanting to build more data centers, to be honest. Price hikes shouldn't be happening, it should only be going down. But the fact that it's going up is a problem. It means greed. Greed is happening. But either way, I did want to make my stance a little bit known on that, on how I stand with AI. Because I have a bit more of a relaxed take on it, I would say. I'm not like all AI is evil type that most people are. I'm the type that says, you know, there are use cases for it. Because where do you draw the line at what an AI is? Because all of them are learning algorithms. The YouTube search algorithm and YouTube recommended stuff could be considered an AI, genuinely, with the loose ass definitions. There's a lot of shit that could be considered AI with loose definitions. That it's just like, it's a slippery slope to say all AI should die. There are genuine use cases where like AI could be useful to smaller companies, smaller like individuals, and even like just for fun for individuals who aren't trying to make money off of it necessarily, but they might want to try it, you know? They might be like, oh hey, I'll try a little bit of like I'll make some cool images for myself. That type of thing. Which is fine. I feel like that's completely a fine use case. Again, I would want image generation models to be a consent thing. And the people whose images are put into it getting paid for it as well. They have to consent and are paid for the work that goes into it. But either way, I will probably be ending here. So, if you enjoyed my video, you like my bullshit rambling, I know I have a divisive opinion about AI. Genuinely. It's a genuinely divisive opinion. It's not necessarily the common opinion, because I'm not going to say all AI is bad, because there are genuine use cases where it could be useful to people. I don't feel like it should ever be a finished product type of thing. Never should there be AI really, like, included in, like, a final product of anything. I genuinely don't think it should be. I'd want to see the hard work of artists, concept artists, writers, like human writers, that kind of shit. Human writers, human artists. I want to see their work rather than the work of a computer that is making an amalgam of ideas into being. Because that's not art of any kind. Art has soul. AIs don't have soul. They are a algorithm. There's a big difference. Because I'm not for AI. I'm not an AI bro, you would say. I follow it so I understand what's going on with it, so I can talk about it when I want to. Because I follow things that I'm interested in to a degree, or that I'm upset with. If I really don't like something, I'll follow it, because I want to know how fucked things are gonna get. You know what I mean? Which is a problem a lot of people don't do. They don't want to inform themselves on things they don't like. Which you should. Because you might have a different opinion after you do something, after you find out more about something. You might have a different opinion and be like, you know what? Maybe my opinion was just, like, going off of somebody else's opinion. You know? Which I don't think is good. I don't like the horde mentality. I don't like influencers telling you what to feel and how you should feel about something. Celebrities shouldn't do that. I don't take their... I'll listen to what they say, but then I'll form my own opinion based off of my own research, my own stuff. And that's what I feel like everybody should do. Regardless. Either way, I'm still yapping. We're almost 50 minutes in. I've been yapping for damn near 30. Either way, if you enjoyed my rambling, you can put up with my bullshit, and you want to support me in ways that aren't just watching the video, I have two ways down below you can do that. The first way is my Honeygain referral code link. I'm not sponsored. That is my personal referral code link. Everybody gets one when they sign up for Honeygain. That is just my personal one. By signing up for Honeygain on either an Android device or a PC, through that link down below, you get $3 in your account. It requires $20 to withdraw any money from it. However, as you get that $20, if you use my referral code link down below, I am given $5 by Honeygame, which that's how that helps me. Genuinely. It helps me out monetarily. I'm going to be using it regardless. I've used it for years. So I'm going to be using it regardless of if you use it or not. It would just help me out a little bit getting to my $20 a bit faster. You're not going to be making a ton of money. You're going to get that $20 maybe once every couple months. But that's still an extra $20 in your pocket, you know? For doing nothing, by the way. You just use the device that you downloaded it on as you normally would, and it earns you money. That's it. That's how it works. But the other way, down below, does require some capital. It is a donation page. It's my Coffee link. It is not anything that's going to have currently, there are no plans, at least, for any exclusive content, anything specific to coffee. None of that exists, and I currently don't have plans to do that at all. It is just a donation page, and I only want people to donate to it if they have the money and it's not going to put them out and they actually enjoy my content. Because you don't get anything out of it. At all. You get nothing out of donating to me. And I want that to be known. I don't make promises that you get anything out of it. I'm not going to do that because it's true. Donating to a creator doesn't get you closer to them. It doesn't do any of that. That is a parasocial relationship, which is not okay. If you genuinely like watching me and you want to see me get bigger and better as a content creator, that's the only time, and you have the expendable income to spare. It wouldn't put you out to donate like $1 or $2. That's the only time that you should donate to me. At all. I'm not going to be somebody who's going to push that and be like, oh, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Sorry, Pokemon reference there. Not a big fan of her, by the way. Whoa. I'm not going to get into it. Not a big fan. I don't like a lot of streamers. I'm not a fan of a lot of streamers. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. And you, if you made it this far into the video, yes, I'm talking to you, especially you. If you made it this far, I'm going to give you a genuine thank you. Not many people make it this far in the video. You're special. I want you to hear that. And everybody else, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one.